Peace, peace. Greetings, Israel. So, this is So You're Israel. What now? A lecture. And I am nobody but your sister and a woman child to the Most High. And today's lecture is going to be about the Sabbath. What about clean and unclean laws? So, to get on into it, let's go. What makes you unclean? Menstrual cycles, sexual intercourse, infections of the skin, an unshaken bad attitude, newborn babies and their mommies, deceased bodies and the cemetery. So, you cannot physically be in attendance of an assembly if you are unclean. Starting with menstruous women. Menstruous women and girls are not allowed to attend service. She is to stay home and her family too, if they can't keep the laws of separation during the unclean cycle. Why? The menstruous woman is not herself. She is emotionally unstable and edgy, snappy, and looking for trouble unknowingly. She is uncomfortable in her body. Leave her alone. This is a blessed curse among the women. Stay home and rest like you're supposed to. Count your 7 days. You're clean on the 8th day. No matter what day your issue stops, whether it be the third day, 4th day, 5th day, you're still unclean until the 8th day. This recording is important that you don't cook for holy high feast days and knowing what weekly Sabbath you will miss. You can have service by phone or service online. Now, I say unknowingly because some women don't question to see why they feel angry or upset or agitated and irritated. So, what happened is, if you're living and want to be happy and want to be a happy person every day because you know the blessings of the Most High is with you daily throughout the day, and you notice an unclean spirit seep up in you, question that. Like, wait, where did that come from? How do you do this? A calendar. So, I am going to show you sisters how to count your days. So, let's say you come on Monday day, the day. So you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Within those 8 days, you're clean when the sun goes down on the seventh day. When the sun goes down after the seventh day, you're clean. This is your clean day. Why? Because an evening and a morning is a day. So, after you count whatever day that unclean day land on that Sabbath day, you are not supposed to be in service. Period, point blank. And this is worshiping in spirit and in truth. Because of a truth, the scripture says you don't belong in the congregation of the assembly on your unclean day. I don't care what rules men have of their own. I don't care what rules the congregation sets. You must live according to the truth. And truthfully, you're like a sneaker commercial. You're not yourself during these days. So say for instance, when you go into your calendar and you start marking, and if you catch yourself spiritually unbalanced and like, wait, what's going on with me? You can recognize what's going on. Sometimes a woman is agitated the week before she comes on, up until the day she comes on, and even throughout that time. And when you can possess the fruits of the Spirit, and learning to be a controlled vessel, you can stop and pause and ask yourself, what's going on with me? What is today? And believe it or not, I'll just mention that. Believe it or not, in death, our bodies can physically mourn, cause you to mourn, whether you want to or not. Because some deaths hits hard. And if you look at the calendar and be like, oh, what's today? And think about whatever happened in that month, you will know what's going on with your body. You could be like, because your body mourns, whether you want to or not, depending on how close the relationship is or was, your body will mourn because of the emotional impact that was put on it on this day or around this time. So like each year, after me and my children lost their father, I would be like, what's wrong with me? And it was every time around that month, it was because of his death, every year. And whether I wanted to or not, the body mourned on its own and put me in a mourning position. So when you can understand the why you're feeling this way, then you can then talk to the Father to get him to remove it from you. That each year becomes a lot more easier. And then so with the menstrual cycle, this is every month. Every month. So when you can capture what is this, then you start warning everybody in the household. You warn everybody in the household, look, don't bother me because my body is looking to put pause on something or somebody. Yep, the body is looking for an argument. And I say this unknowingly because you don't know what's going on with yourself until you become in tune with yourself. You have to be in tune and recognize the change in your own body so that you can help all those around you. You don't want no menstruous woman. I don't care if she's singing in a choir. You don't want no menstruous woman in your presence. She's not herself. She's not herself. She doesn't feel well. And she is snappy and will snap. So you have to decide whether you're going to listen to man versus what the scripture teach you to do. I don't think no women should be, I didn't see you last Sabbath. That is none of your business. If you want to find out what happened to them, you should call them to make sure that they're okay. It shouldn't be, I didn't see you last Sabbath. No. We are not a part of this world, and the Sabbath isn't for attendance. We have laws to keep, and you probably were supposed to stay home anyway because it was a message and a lesson somewhere for you. But a woman, a mistress, even go easy and be patient with your daughters. We are so hard on our daughters as women. Lighten up. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I wasn't expecting to bring it out until another lecture that I'm a future lecture. Because we're harder on women in general. Because we've been worldly introduced to cattiness. And believe it or not, and you can reflect on it in your own life, you can be catty with your own daughters. Don't be. Be patient and allow them to have their vent and stay away from them. Walk them through it. Talk them through it. Okay? So that when you catch these, then you're able to manage your feelings a lot better. Like, oh, okay, now I understand what's wrong with me. I'm getting ready to come on next week. Learn to manage your feelings because you are to be a controlled vessel, and children are uncontrolled vessels because they're still learning as adults, but less effective in getting it right away. So, count them days. Now, after you count your days and you got your 8th day, then you begin to count 18 to 21 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 19, 20, 21. When you record your cycle, women come on between 18 and 21 days. Everybody is different. So, you're either, if you come on within the 18th day of that first Sabbath, if you come on within the 18th day, within that 21, that coming Sabbath, this is your unclean Sabbath. If you come on between the 20th and 21st day, the next week, will be your unclean Sabbath. You are not supposed to attend service. You are not supposed to take your daughter to service. The whole home needs to stay home. Again, I don't care what a man says. I don't care what a congregations or assembly rules are. The scripture says, no. Now, in order for a menstruous family to be able to attend service, let's go over that. For a menstruous family, how to keep clean and attend service. Number 1, there must be 2 bathrooms in the house. In the home, there must be 2 bathrooms, period. If there's only 1 bathroom, everybody must stay home. I mean, your whole family must stay home because you share the same unclean. Whatever she sits on becomes unclean as well. You can't keep it if you don't have 2 separate bathrooms. Number 2, select what will be deemed the clean and unclean bathroom, the clean and unclean furniture in the living room. Determine sleep arrangements. Husbands are not allowed and should not be sleeping in the same bed as their wives or spouses or girlfriends. That is unclean. You're gonna lay on the couch that week willingly, because it will make you unclean. So unless you're able to set up arrangements where you the husband or spouse or boyfriend is sleeping in a totally different room, you cannot attend service if you don't have no sleep arrangements. And if you're sleeping in the same bed, you're unclean just as well. So, determine sleeping arrangement. Take the couch for a week, okay? Because you can't do it without being separated. So number 3, family does the Sabbath food prep, and while the Sabbath prep is going on, the unclean person cannot enter into the kitchen. You must serve them until the Sabbath prep is done. Serve them. Okay? Number 4, if the woman with the issue is staying in the bedroom the whole day, which is stay in the room the whole day. Most people have TVs and travel devices. Have service in the room the whole entire day away from your family so that they may stay clean and attend service. And sometimes most homes with 2 bathrooms have a bathroom inside the master bedroom. So that wouldn't be an issue. So yes, number 4, if the woman with the issue is staying in the room the whole day, food preparation can be stored and or stationed in the room. Your chips, your snacks, your fruits and vegetables that can sit out and stay out should be stored in the room or stationed in the room, on a dresser, on a nightstand, wherever you choose. Okay. Number 5, no hugging, kissing, touching during the Sabbath or before the Sabbath. So children like to come in and give mommy a hug or a sibling's hugs. No. The menstruous person does not get no physical attention. Physical attention is hugging, kisses, touching, okay? And none during the Sabbath day as well. Separate yourselves. What my children came up with, Mama, give me an air hug. Air hug. I love my children. So, yeah, air hug. Or another one is hugging your arms across and to give yourself and another hug, okay? Okay, number 6. After service, returning home to your mistress family, still no touching. No touching. Just stay separated. And yes, talking is allowed because even the minimal things need to be said in keeping the Sabbath day. So, that is mistress families that want to attend service. And if you don't have 2 bathrooms, hands down, the whole house stays home. If you have a teenager, 13 is age 13 is actually babysitting age. They can stay home by themselves. But everybody must use the clean bathroom then, and only that person can use the bathroom. Even if you was to shut it down by Wednesday or Thursday, that everybody begin to use the personal bathroom so that the unclean bathroom stays the unclean bathroom and the clean bathroom stays the clean bathroom. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Okay. What other clean and unclean laws are there? Well, unclean laws. Sexual intercourse is actually it's an unclean act. Your marital bed may be undefiled, but the act is still considered to be unclean. So, intimacy, last day should be Thursday. Don't play with fire and being intimate Friday day. And then attend service where service could begin Friday at sundown. No. You're not allowed to go into service if you've been intimate Friday day, because you won't be clean until the next day. Okay? So no. And you can't even, if you're even going to work and do servitude in the assembly congregation, you cannot be intimate with your spouse. You can't. It's an unclean act. You're doing the service of the Most High to the Most High. It's an unclean act. Don't do it. You can wait until the Sabbath end, because Because when the Sabbath ends Saturday, this is Sunday evening. It's a new day. Do what you will. So, but you cannot be intimate ever on the Sabbath day. And I wouldn't chance the holy high feast days either. That allows pleasures, not nookie pleasures, not allowed. Hugging and kissing is fine, but not that intimate kiss, okay? Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. I'm telling you, I'm letting you know, I wouldn't chance being intimate during the holy high feast days, ever. Okay? Now, the next thing, infections of the skin. If you have an open wound or infections in the flesh, you are unclean until you are well. You can't go to service. You must attend either by phone, online, or, have portable devices. You attend service at home. Obedience. Okay? What is another unclean thing? Unclean fire. There is no cooking on the Sabbath. But the unclean fire I'm talking about is control your tongue. If you have an unshakable bad attitude, you have an unclean spirit on you. It is not okay to want to hold on to it. I'm saying want to hold on to it. Sometimes going to service help alleviate that. But don't afflict others around you, because spirits travel. And the Sabbath is supposed to be a delight. Keep it that way. Another thing that makes you unclean, or who? Newborn babies. Search the scriptures. There is a set time for the male child and a set time for the girl child. After giving birth, both mommy and baby is not to attend assembly until appointed days are over. No, this screen ain't. You're unclean. You and them fresh babies stay home. Home. Like the scriptures tell you to. Why? Because we worship in spirit and in truth. And of a truth, the scripture says no. We may not know why. But if you ask him why, he shall reveal to you the understanding of the matter. Just like a male child is to be circumcised on the 8th day, you want to know why? Because on the 8th day, the male baby naturally clots. Naturally. However, in the hospitals, when you ask for circumcision and the baby is born, those doctors has to shoot a needle in the baby, yes, and cause them to clot to do the circumcision. So this is one of those things we may not know why, but he set it up. If you want to know, you will seek to know. If you don't know, you don't know. But I'm telling you, he set up his creation perfectly. Don't get your baby circumcised in the hospital. If you can go and wait until the 8th day, that baby's body naturally clots on its own. But if you get it when the baby is new and fresh, within them 8 days, the doctors have to give the babies a shot to cause the male child to naturally clot so that they can do the circumcision. And believe it or not, another thing, the unclean 8 days of the women, believe it or not, any woman that has ever been pregnant and you go and find out you're pregnant and they ask you when was the last day of your cycle or something like that, they count 8 days. And you wouldn't know that if you wasn't in the medical field. I didn't know that until I asked for understanding, and the Father gave me from a visit. I'm like, oh, so you doctors count 8 days too, huh? Well, I'm gonna give you the first and the 8th. I'm gonna give you the first and the 7th, 8th day, okay? But there's a natural order of things, a natural order of life that's already been created perfectly and don't need no help, okay? Or extra assistance. So that's it on that. And I want to say that you are born once, which is the day of your birth. So every year after that, you've aged. It's not your birthday. It's the day you were born. And now every year, you age older. Okay? Now, another thing that deems you unclean is deaths and funerals. Touching a dead body, the dwelling of the deceased, and cemeteries. People go to funerals. You go to funerals, hugging everybody. Somebody done touched that dead body, which again makes you unclean. So you are unclean. You go into a cemetery and stepping on a cemetery cause you to be unclean. What happens when you're unclean? You cannot attend service. You cannot attend the congregation. You cannot attend Sabbath service. You must stay home and be home until the unclean time period is over. Now, rewind back to intimacy. Intimacy. Again. Thursday. Why? Thursday is your last day for intimacy. Thursday is your last day for intimacy. And I suggest, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. I suggest, if you not married, We all sin and stop it. And you been in, and you into, and you active, physically active. Wednesday for the not married should be your last day of intimacy. It's just a suggestion. My suggestion. Why do I suggest this? I suggest this because it gives you a whole nother day to bask and dwell in your own happiness, and you can go into the Sabbath prep clean and not having those thoughts of reaccount of the act going on in your mind. No, because we're supposed to clean ourselves and clean all that up and out of the way. So, a suggestion for the singles only. You could, but you don't. It's your make Wednesday. So you have all of Thursday to reenact in your minds so that your Fridays and Saturdays are clean. For the married, Thursday is your last day for intimacy. And I believe that is all. And so, Israel, on that note, this is So You Israel, What Now? The clean and unclean laws. And I pray that this was a blessing and you was able to glean from this. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Shalom. Well, shalom.